we're hearing from the teachers who were inside as well about the heroism, trying to save each other. One of them, in fact, got injured and then pulled the fire alarm. Omar Villafranca now with State Police Colonel Mike Edmonson. And Omar, I know that the investigation continues today.
It does, and I'm glad we have Colonel Edmonson here. Tell us a little bit about what you found in his motel room.
Well, kind of interesting, because we found him here in the theater. He's just a normal individual. Inside his hotel room were numerous wigs, glasses. It's almost like he was trying to make himself look like another person. I mean, we can only speculate at this point. Hopefully, in interviewing the family, he was estranged from his mom. Mm-hmm. He had asked for money recently. She had sent him some money. He paid with cash for everything. He did so at that hotel, but why the wigs? You know, why the glasses? Was he trying to make himself look different? You know, the car that was right next to the hotel, next to the movie theater here, he had actually had the keys placed on one of the tires. Was it a quick getaway? As he was moving out of the theater, was he going to try to get to his car because he saw the police and went back in?
Well, what does that tell you? Does that tell you that this was planned out?
Well, it certainly leads us in that direction. We want to be careful not to say that if that's not factual, but it certainly leads us to believe that he thought this out.
Now, you mentioned earlier 13 shots from a .40 caliber semi-automatic handgun. Did he have any other weapons at his motel or his car?
Nothing else. We had the box the gun was purchased in. We're going to some local stores he was at and try to look at some footage as far as the cameras that maybe tells us something else about him, but no rhyme or reason. I think that's the point here, and I mean, we may not know that information. So, but I think it's important to remember 2 people died at his hands. And so we want to keep that in mind, certainly with those families, because we're trying to find some closure. And for the rest of the country, why Lafayette? Why? Look at this neighborhood. We're in the middle of a neighborhood.
And for people who don't know, I mean, there's a lot of businesses around here, restaurants, cafes, and this
right
is the
now,
place
ULL, University of Lafayette, great baseball, football team. We watch them on TV. So this is small town USA. And then with a movie theater, the Grand Theater, people just going to watch a movie, the train wreck.
We don't know why, and that's the motive. But there's a question of how. How was he able to get a gun when he had a criminal history? Is that something that,
we need to find
ATF
out.
That looks into that?
ATF look into it, but also there's a mechanism when you purchase a gun that's it's crossed against a NICS check through the federal government, usually through the sheriff's office and the police department in that city. We need to find out about that. This was a dated criminal history. Nothing that would have sat there and brought us to attention, but certainly he spoke to someone, and he's talking to the family. If they believed him to be unstable or whatever, they didn't let anybody know.
Any friends, family, girlfriends, anything?
Strange wife. That's what we know right now.
Any kids?
There doesn't seem to be any. We're still interviewing, talking to his mom. Like I said, she had recently given him some cash. He said he was going to Florida to get his life back in order. Okay, he didn't make it. What put him in Lafayette? Why is he here? He's not on the interstate. He's not close to where he's traveling through. Obviously, it took him into a small city and into this location, and he bought a ticket for that movie. So he was going to see a movie. He was in there with it, and he fired the shots in a general direction. Why? So that's stuff that we've got to sit there, and we don't want to speculate. We want to put some type of facts to it, but we've got to try to put this puzzle together.
Let me ask you right now about, we're hearing from Governor Jindal and from witnesses in there. There was 2 teachers who were inside, shielding each other, but pulling a fire alarm to set off a noise. Did that save people's lives?
It absolutely did. And you know, that's what's so great about our teachers, because they're teaching our future. But they look for small things like that brings attention to people. You saw that in the school shootings. Getting on that loudspeaker and keying that loudspeaker to where the rest of the school could hear what was going on in the office. That saved lives. It's clearly saved lives, because it made people say, emergency, let's get out. So people got out. When he came out of the theater, what if someone had confronted him? Would he have shot them? Did he have any bullets left? I mean, all those things, could he have reloaded? All those things that we've got to try to put together, but clearly those teachers, they made a difference in the individuals who are watching the movies.
You mentioned he fired 13 rounds. Did he have more ammo on him?
That's what we're looking at. We've got several things we've got to go through, determine exactly how many bullets he had at his disposal. Certainly 13 is an odd number. So where's the box? Where's the rest of it? And we'll put that together and try to figure it out.
And also, any update that people are going to want to know. There's 2 teachers who shielded each other and possibly saved countless lives. Do we know how they're doing?
What we're told, there was only one that was not really critical, but close to that, but looked like they were going to make it. And then you had a couple others that were grazed. One individual, we were told, was hit multiple times, and he's okay. So, you know, and that's where you sit there and, why did this 21-year-old girl, why was she hit? You know, sitting there with her boyfriend. You know, what about this other woman that was hit? Why? And trying to put that together, and because we've got to think that we're dealing with human beings, and people around the country as well around the world is going to say, well, what happened?
Yeah.
Can't we figure it out?
And at this
Can
point,
we keep it from happening again?
Right now, that's the million-dollar question. I want to thank
Absolutely.
you, Colonel Edmonson. Contessa, a lot of unanswered questions, you know, but we're starting to learn a little bit more about exactly what happened, of course, what happened in the theater, and a little bit more about those teachers, too.
Yeah, it's got to be devastating. He mentions Houser's mom gave him cash. I mean, she clearly had high hopes for him. And if he said he was going to Florida to get his life put back together, it's always, I just can't imagine for all the families who've lost loved ones,